Happy Wednesday, everybody. We are back because we just couldn't resist another live stream. I know we said we weren't going to do them every day this week, but there's just too much happening. And we've discovered some really interesting things that we want to unpack on today's show. So stay tuned because it is going to be a very juicy one. And I guarantee you, nobody else is going to be talking about these indicators in the way that we are and the analysis that we have. Rob and I had a great chat before the stream here, and we'd love to share that with you guys. There's some secret indicators that we want to show you that are kind of interesting and may suggest that there is a move imminent, right? So we're not going to tell you what that move is, but we are going to address altcoins and Bitcoin, of course, and I'll obviously give you some of the trading setups that we went over in the group yesterday. We got a fantastic entry on a short position just right after the stream in a setup that we actually went over on the stream, Jasmine. So we'll be going over how that played out and show you guys a little bit about how to nail your entries. Okay. And we have all of that in the group. So you've got to get in the group in the Hive. The link's in the description below. We'd love to have you all there. And so today is going to be very, very interesting. You know, it seems like the battle of the Titans is happening. Some of the big boys are flustered and nobody knows what to make of this crypto cycle. The Google Analytics searches show that Bitcoin interest, search interest is an all-time low, which is typically a bear market sort of bottom indicator, right? And people are just there. It's just weird. You know, it's just a very weird cycle. Although Bitcoin has sort of played out like it has in previous cycles, percentage-wise, gains-wise, and time-wise, as in four-year cycle theory, the altcoins certainly did not. They did not get the run that they have had in previous years, and people are wondering what gives, what is happening, will they ever run, are they dead forever? We're going to address that topic today, and I think you're going to find the answer or one of the pieces of the puzzle very, very interesting. Now, on that, I do have some other news to go over with you guys because, yeah, the battle of the Titans is real. People are sort of coming up with their own theories, pointing fingers, saying this doesn't matter anymore, that doesn't matter. Is it the collapse of fiat? Is it not? And at the end of the day, guys, you know, I'm a fundamental investor as well. I'm a very long-term investor. I have long-term bags, but I'm also a trader. And in becoming a trader and in learning with Rob and in getting more into this world, I see that, you know, the more you try to come up with a theory as to what is happening and why, the easier it is just to look at the chart and let the price action dictate what's happening and then get a better entry based on that. Now, fundamental theories are fantastic for long-term to have conviction in your investments, but it's the analytics and the skills that you learn in trading that will help you find your edge as an investor in this market. And it is really, really wonderful. Once you start to unpack it, it starts to click, and I promise it will, you will never, ever turn back from it. I mean, you will just want to learn and soak in all that you humanly can, and you have the best mentors to do so. So that link is to the link to the group is in the description, guys. It's still free because we believe in these sort of doldrum times when things are tough and hard that we want to get back a little. We want to make sure that everybody gets the opportunity to learn these skills. So it most truly is a no-brainer. Now, on the news side, not a lot has happened, but a lot at the same time. It's sort of one of those things. Vitalik Buterin comes out and declares the original vision of L2s and their role in Ethereum no longer makes sense. We need a new path. L2s are centralized, so that's basically like the layers that are on top of Ethereum to make it faster. They're centralized, and they just sort of suck users in liquidity. They siphon it away from Ethereum, and it's never really been a really well-functioning system, in my opinion. So now Ethereum, Vitalik is talking about scaling Ethereum itself, the L1, and that is, I think, exactly what Ethereum needs, and that's good news on that end. And then we've got a lot of things. Binance is buying Bitcoin. Binance's SAFU fund purchased an additional 1,315 Bitcoin worth $100 million. They're putting their money where the mouth is. They believe in this long term. They're doing it. Tokenized equities on Solana hits a new all-time high. Guys, Solana is going to do very, very well whenever altcoins have their next day in the sun. So yeah, we were talking about price targets for Sol if we kind of like get this pullback that we expect. And man, I'm telling you, generational buying opportunities, you know, not financial advice. That's just what I'm going to be doing if Solana hits some of these levels. Maybe we'll talk about that with Rob. But yeah, it's truly interesting times indeed. CZ came out and said, you know, I don't know about the super cycle anymore because people are flooding Binance so hard. And just everybody seems to be sort of like complaining or pointing fingers or whatever. Peter Schiff, the gold bug, says China's too smart to care about Bitcoin. They're buying gold. So China isn't involved in Bitcoin. Hard to believe. Kathy Wood, now this was kind of like surprising to me. The CEO of ARK Invest reiterates that the October 10th flash crash was in fact caused by a software glitch at Binance. How would she know that? Why is she the only one saying that? It seems interesting to me that she would keep doubling down on that theory. Bitcoin is now down 41% and hitting $126,000 on the 6th of October. It's the fourth consecutive red month, which is the longest bearish run since 2018. What gives, right? Very, very much so. A lack of momentum. The big boys are in now. BlackRock, all of the biggest asset managers in the world. And you better believe they do want to buy cheap. So that's got to have some sort of influence on a lot of the things that are going on. But how and why is you know, what's hard to speculate on. So Treasury Secretary Besson says tariffs do not cause inflation. And he says the asset seizure that 1 billion of Bitcoin was seized, 500 million was retained, and that 500 million has become over 15 billion. Boom. Yeah, I'd like to hear it. $1 billion just minted at the USDT Treasury, more stable coins coming into the market. And Polymarket says that odds that ETH is flipped by market cap in 2026 rises to 50%. Interesting. So yeah, a lot of stuff, you know, we've got Epstein files, we've got tensions with Iran, and people are just sort of on edge. Like, what is going to happen here? What is going to happen here? Meanwhile, Michael Saylor's strategy currently has a $2 billion unrealized loss. Ouch. Yeah, so things are being stress tested too, as often happens in bear markets. And if they can survive it, then it is a very, very good sign. 82% chance on Polymarket Bitcoin falls below 70,000. And yeah, so that's just some of the updates. Now, I have one other thing to show you. It's from Mike Novogratz. So you would think that all the big boys, you know, if this were a manipulation and if it was all courted and stuff, that they'd all be able to get in on it and profit from it. But apparently this billionaire didn't. And he's upset that it didn't go just the way he thought it would go. Check it out.
Went wrong. I think we're getting close to the bottom, but we'll see.
You're fresh off the conference call this morning, and you said that, quote, pain is part of the ethos of this whole industry.
Unfortunately, I mean, that's true.
How much more pain is ahead?
Listen, you never actually know where markets bottom. When Bitcoin went through 100,000, that was a major level that it broke down on. And so, you know, when I look at the chart, 70 to 100 is probably the new range. And, you know, we're at 76. So I think we're towards the bottom end of the range. There's a lot of pessimism out there. A lot of leverage has been taken out of the system.
Okay, so something went wrong. I don't know why, but I think we're close to a bottom. Yeah, there's a lot of different theories, but it just sounds a little bit like he didn't get to, you know, he wasn't in on this move, so to speak. And it's just an interesting thing for an analyst to say, right? Something went wrong. It's like, no, it just happened that's how the charts played out. And actually, it was very similar to the 4-year cycle. But without further ado, guys, we do have some interesting altcoin updates. So you guys are going to want to sit back and pull up a popcorn for this. Just want to shout out to you, Jeannie. You're here every day, tried and true, man. You are one of the real ones. You're gonna crush it. That's all I have to say. You're gonna freaking crush it. And thanks for tuning in. And we're happy that you're along on this journey with us. So Rob, how you doing?
I am doing wonderful today. Killed some profits. I saw that you made some nice profits today as well too. So very good day in the market, in my opinion. Very green day in portfolios if you're trading.
Green day in portfolios, but earlier red day for coins. How is that possible? Well, we were shorting and we got an excellent entry on Jasmine among other coins yesterday. A bearish entry, right? So we do go over that in the group, and we might be going over that today if we have a little bit of time, just to touch on it, just to give you guys a taste of how much better of a trader you will be if you join this group. That's all I'm saying. So, but yes, green across the board in the portfolio there. Lots of people posting gains. It's nice to see.
Yes, definitely. So that last video showed me he was an analyst, you said?
Oh, he's a billionaire analyst. Yeah, that's right.
So like
Novogratz.
as a trader, I guess can I call myself, I mean, as a trader, I know maybe I'm not an analyst, but as a trader, I know I can't say the words I think. There's never that's not in my vocabulary as a trader. Like I'm sitting there, like when he said I think, I'm like, I don't trust you. As soon as somebody says I think, that right there makes any idea I believe that person says invalid, because it's in trading, trading is actually more black and white than anything. It's either you get the signal or you don't. We either get, like, it's not, I think we're close to bottoms. Like, we either get a reversal signal or we're going to the weekly SMA 200. Does the SMA 200 hold? Yes or no? We don't know. We have to wait till close. If it doesn't, it closes underneath. Then we go lower and we look for measured moves. It's not, I think I'm close. It's like, this is what's going to happen. Is it a downtrend or is it an uptrend? That's usually a basic yes or no question. It's right. We're in a downtrend.
And that's the cool thing, is that the charts don't lie. They just give you information to help you make better decisions, right? So, we will know when the bottom is in, obviously after the fact, but in the process, we will see those reversal signs, which will help give us an edge. And speaking of edge, I think that we found some pretty interesting indicators that you were kind of talking to me about backstream before we joined, that I think people might want to hear about.
Yeah, this is something that I just found out like right before the show. Like I was just looking through my indicator charts. Pays off to be organized somewhere, and like some of them are just showing some signals. I was like, whoa, why is like this is something I've been kind of waiting for like the whole bull market, and they're starting to flash now. Which right now it's a very odd time for it to be flashing, but it's like I better start like paying attention now. Like I'm getting really comfortable with so I'm kind of checking like my feelings right now. Like my short plays are playing out really well. Everybody's making money on shorts right now. It's getting pretty easy. I'm like, this is just easy. I open up a position. I can look at it 2 hours later in profits. I can move my stops up. This is getting really easy. And as soon as you start getting comfortable like that, is when you're like, oh, that's whenever the market tends to want to slap you, unless you're paying attention to everything.
Ooh, I like that. And that's why we want to come on today and give you guys this update, because we are seeing that something is different in the charts. There's something that says, hey, look, pay attention. While everybody else is, I mean, literally one of the biggest influencers in YouTube today went out and said he's very worried about the market and whether it will be able to bounce back in the same way it's bounced back before. Just very bearish stuff, right? And so to me, sentiment wise, when I start to see this start really depressing all across the board, doom and gloom on the timeline, it's typically when something happens that people aren't expecting, or it can happen at least. So that's sort of like an interesting fact in and of itself, right? But so I'm just very curious as to what this indicator is.
Yep, and that's always remember that women lie, men lie, but charts do not lie. So we got to remember that saying here. So we got to remember what the charts are saying. They're typically telling you the truth most of the time. It just depends. It's just doing the best way of interpreting. I know a lot of people are hurting right now just because every bull market we've had a alt season, and we've had our first bull market with no alt season. But this was also a bull market within a tightening cycle. So there you go. That's probably the reason why. I think we talked about that a few times. So we do have a reason why the cycle is different and why it felt so different. It's because this whole bull market was the only time in a tightening cycle. So so everybody said, why would it happen? There you go. We gave you the why. So let's not worry about why it didn't happen. But could there be a potential bull market or alt season and the bear market has it ever happened before? No. So why would it happen now? I don't know. Maybe we go to loosening the cycle. Maybe we go from tightening to you know what I mean? Go to the next. I can't think of the word. But
the easing. So you're right. The cycle is off in that regard. And I actually do think that is true, that our liquidity cycles are off. So therefore, during this whole bull market, we've been in quantitative tightening, like Rob was saying, meaning the Fed is selling off their balance sheet and sucking liquidity from the whole market, right? So now we're suddenly pivoting into easing. We're going to lower rates. We're in a better atmosphere overall for risk on assets. And maybe, just maybe, that could be the fuel we need to get that mini altcoin run season, whatever you want to call it, within this bear market. Because if we had an atypical bull market, who's to say we can't have an atypical bear market, right?
Yep. There's been a lot of things in this bull market that's been different. So you have to be ready for what's going to be different this time in the future as well, too. Things are maturing. Things are changing. and things are a little bit different. You can't say it was exactly the same. The 4-year cycle for Bitcoin was pretty much close to the same. Just the way it played out was a little bit different, but that stayed the same. So we can say that holds true overall.
Right. Right. So let's have a look then, before we even get started, and pull your charts up, let's have a look at some of the results from today.
Yeah.
I mean, guys, we were just ripping in group. I mean, it was incredible. Short after short, people were nailing it. It was awesome. We had a great day in a group today. And as you can see, lots of gains across the board, while a lot of people were kind of just waiting on the sidelines while they're holding and watching our altcoins bags deflate. We're sitting there shorting it and making a lot of gains, guys. So this is what you can do when you start to learn to trade the market both ways. It can be scary if you're just getting started, but we will be there to help you. In fact, we just opened up a beginners chat here that will be populating, and where beginners will be able to ask questions, and no question is a dumb question. And, everybody gets to, just contribute and be a part of it. And that's how you learn, by really just getting involved. So really, really excellent day in the market for us. And Rob had some super great call outs. So
that was all there. People were taking them. I got to give a big shout out to one of these gangs here. I'm gonna give a big shout out to you, Megan. Look at all these gangs that Megan had. I think we've been making this course up, and I think she's getting some good tips and tricks on it, nailing some trades. I'm sitting there looking. I'm like, geez, is one after another? I'm like, did she take the course or what?
That's true. And I've been going through the course, guys, because I'm about to release that to you. And like I said, I'm typically a long-term fundamental investor, but obviously, I've pivoted and gotten much more into trading, and Rob is just an excellent teacher. And it really does help you get the edge, whether you're going to trade or just invest. Right. And it's a skill that I think everybody should learn, and everybody can learn. And we did some scalp trading. We did some, this was all just within the span of, sometimes a few hours within the day today. So you can do it. And it really is exciting once you start to learn and it starts to click. And that's just what it is. So Megan, shout out to you, Megan Moss in the audience. What's up? I like it. A lot of ladies showing up today. The real ones, guys. I don't know. I feel like I'm really proud of us today. There's not many women in the market. So I'm glad that you guys are there and doing your thing. And hopefully we can get more women to join and get those Queen Bee cups out there, because I really like those. Those are for a cocktail, Crypto and Cocktail Fridays. But yeah, overall, guys, it's going great. And we're going to now, that we've been having all these shorts and it's been pretty great trading, is the market starting to tell us something different? Now, this is something that I have not seen on any channel or any other echo chamber on X. And that's why we like to get these updates out to you, because it's a different perspective that's saying, hey, pay attention. It's time to stop now. Something might be changing.
All right. Yeah. So definitely. So this is a new chart that I just found that might give us a new edge in the market. So I've been debating on how to use like the USDT chart and stuff like that, dominance for these stable coins. And whenever you have these stable coins, you have multiple stable coins, right? So what if it's not telling you the true picture sometimes? So I found this one here. It is the crypto market stablecoin dominance, and it's actually prints very clean price action from what I can tell on it right now. And it just seems to be very, very strong. It's something new. So this just came out on about this long ago. So in 2025, May of 2025. And you can sit there and say, look at this strong, like bullish wedge pattern here. That was like a very big hint that we could have had right here for a breakout of some sort, to where we could have known of not to be trading long right here, why this was spiking up. I think it was a lot more clear than this chart right here, in my opinion, where it was just kind of like this wedge type thing that's kind of cut like right in this resistance. Like, so we were right at the strong resistance right here, where on this chart we weren't. It was like breaking it into price discovery, falling wedge, just nice clean pattern. I really liked it. And I was like, that was a very good hint. So what is this one exactly? Hang on a second. I have it written down here. It is the stable coins of USDT, USDC, USDDE, DAI, and BUSD. So all your main stable coins, all in one, all the dominance. So basically the idea is whenever it's going up and it's bullish, you're going to be risk off. When it's going down, it's bearish, you're going to be risk on, which means it's going to be more bullish for the market when this is going down. So this is going to be a good one that we're going to be have to be keeping updated on here in group or in the club and everything as well too, is because it's going to be telling us a lot of information, whether it's risk on for crypto or risk off for crypto, specifically, instead of using stock market indicators that tell like the VIX.
Right. Yeah. And the idea there behind that is if it's ripping up to the upside, people are selling into stable coins or going into stable coins. And if it's going to the downside, they're investing into others, right? Like Bitcoin or coins.
Yep, they're going into the alt market. So it's following the money flow. So where the money flows is wherever the eyes go, or where the attention goes, the money flows. So if the attentions are on stable coins, money's going to be flowing there. If everybody's scared, they're going to be flowing on there. And this is what that chart's going to tell you. So I think that's really interesting. Now we're printing a rising wedge. We're in this rising wedge here. So at some point, there's a 68% chance this breaks down. How far the measured move will be probably down to here. So I can give us a good bounce like that. We could do a measured move real quick just so we could kind of see where that would be at. So we could go right here. Say we break down right about here somewhere. Say it comes down, one more up, one more down. You're looking at 11% or so, 11.5% for a measured move, depending on where it breaks down. If it breaks down now, we'll probably look for more like 11.33%. Just depends on where that exactly breaks down. And then if it starts continuing to go downwards, then we'll be looking at for some bigger picture patterns. But I'll be wanting to see like a head and shoulders or a reversal pattern, in my opinion, for a bigger move.
Right. And looking 2 steps ahead, always looking for those future patterns potentially or what could happen. But this is a good indicator because you always got to be like forward thinking, right? If you want to be good at this and you want to get the edge and you want to be prepared for the next move, you can't get too comfortable in what's happening in the moment. You got to sort of like take a look at the bigger picture here.
Yeah, you always gotta be thinking about tomorrow and next week. Like that's how I can trade while I'm not at my computer, is because I paint a bigger picture and I have an idea of what the charts are telling. From what the charts are telling, it's not my idea; it's what the charts are telling me basically. And I just execute while I'm not on my computer. But I figure out the ideas. I figure out what the charts are telling me while I'm at my computer. I do the work then, and then as long as I execute on my phone, I get paid for it. That's kind of the way I look.
Right. That's right. So you can do this whether you have time to babysit the charts or not. Rob has a very, very busy life, and he's got kids and a family and a full-time job. So he is just, doing this basically in between all that. So if he can do this with that kind of job and life, anybody can do it. Anybody can do it, guys. And that's what why I hope that you're not sitting there thinking like this is the end, the bear market, depressed, sitting on the sidelines, thinking you're going to have to wait however long for your bag to start pumping again. No, get in the group, join the group. The link's in the description below. You'll be sent to the verification group, the Hive, and you'll click on the verification bot. What you have to do is sign up for BYDFI, our trust exchange. Any deposit, $5, $10, transfer that to your futures account, and we will give you a $100 bonus to start learning how to trade with, which is phenomenal. And then with your user ID, you paste that in and you're in the group because it's still free for right now, but it won't be for much longer. So get in there and, start like paying attention to the things Rob posts and the other analysts, because it is just very powerful stuff.
Yeah, definitely. We always keep you updated best we possibly can with anything that's new coming out. And this is one right here. So this is others.d, not others. This is others.d. So it's the dominance of altcoins over Bitcoin, right? And it is looking very strong. We're having a very big green candle over here, and it looks like we're trying to break out of this level. So this is going to be our next break. It broke out of this green line. Now we're need to break out of this next green line. And I was sitting there trying to see if we had a falling wedge. I'm going to be playing with this a little bit more to see if we have a falling channel. I was also looking at like maybe we make it up to this trend line right here. So we get all the way up to here or something. But this here is telling me that less people are leaving altcoins than Bitcoin. So this is a very powerful indicator. I'm telling this one here. Last year or 2 years ago, I used this chart right here to nail a lot of shorts at some point here. Now, is it going to be doing the same thing? We break above this level here, we're going to be going bullish and we're going to be nailing longs potentially. Of course, we're going to be paying attention to our strategy on our altcoins. We're going to wait for confirmation, but this is kind of throwing a hint out of this way. Money is flowing a little bit different. This isn't dipping down like I was expecting it to when I pulled over. So I have a list of indicator charts that I use for indication: USDT, USD, the stables, the others.d up, which is a US dollar. That's you can trade the US dollar by using up as leverage. So if you think the US dollar is going to go up, you're going to have to trade it. But Bitcoin dominance, all that type of stuff. And the craziest point right now is Bitcoin dominance is pumping at the same time. So there's a lot of things that usually run the opposite that are both running up here. Now I'm going to go ahead and jump into one more chart here, which is, let's go here, total 2. So this was my total two take profits chart right here that I was planning for the alt season, because like everybody else, I was also planning for an alt season, but I had a take profit strategy all planned out for everybody. That of course we didn't get a run, and we didn't get to hit these levels right here, and it all rolled over, right? And one of those parts of that was down here. This is the altcoins versus Bitcoin market cap heat map, right? So that's this right here, and how this works. It's pretty simple. Whenever you're down and when this turns blue in the background, you're underneath this line right here, which is blue. I highlighted it with the green line, is a good time for accumulation. And as you can see with the altcoins, that's wherever you always wanted to accumulate. And then when the altcoins took off, this would go up. And it's whenever altcoins were going more stronger than Bitcoin. So this is altcoins versus Bitcoin against Bitcoin. And it got up to this yellow line. You want to start taking profits or moving stop losses up or take out your initials. And once you hit that red line, you want to take profits. And it's always lined up with the top of altcoins as well too. I can go in with other altcoin charts and compare this with it as well too. And if you use this chart, you would nail like you'll nail the local top of the cycle top of a lot of altcoins on the last couple bull markets with this here. And here's the crazy part right here. Usually whenever the coins are getting ready to break out, it goes above this blue line that I highlight. So you can see how there's blue, yellow, and red. So we have this blue line right here, which I highlight green so we can see it better. That's usually when coins go out of accumulation and they're getting ready to make a run better than Bitcoin and run better than Bitcoin. And right now, let's make it right perfect because I moved a little bit. Right now, it is moving in the weekly time frame from this chart. It's moving above it, pointing straight up. So that there is a signal that even though on the prices, it's not showing you that altcoins are stronger than Bitcoin right now, because as you see, we've been yelling it in the group on shorts, but on dominance wise, it's basically saying that there's altcoins out there that people are not selling, not getting out of, but people are getting out of Bitcoin, or money could be rotating to, well, right now we know it's rotating into the stable coins because of the stable coin market cap, but maybe it's rotating in the stable coins and the altcoins at the same time, something like that. So there's a story being told here. It's not really clear just yet what's happening here, but what this is telling you is you better start paying attention right now and see if it comes back, if we close the week and this is back underneath it, then the whole idea is thrown out. But right now we're moving on it. Right now we're waiting for that weekly close above it. And is this going to be some kind of signal for something to happen in the altcoin market that is bullish? Is it an alt run? Is it a dead cat bounce that's just extremely high for altcoins? I don't know. I can't predict things, but this is just telling me to pay attention with this and the others.d chart.
Ooh, this is really juicy, guys. I don't know if you're hearing what I'm hearing here, but like, what is the thing that everybody least expects right now? For across the board is altcoins to run. Everybody is doom and gloom and Bitcoin's going down. And just as obviously the first thought is going to be, well, if Bitcoin has another leg down, the altcoins are going to get hit hard. Maybe that's still true, but like, what if the opposite happened? What if Bitcoin sort of just ranges and instead we get this like crazy altcoin run, right? Like Rob was talking about, because I love what he said. The charts are telling a story. And if there's one of the best things, or one of Rob's most powerful skills, is to be able to make sense of that story and be able to piece the puzzle together, right? And that's why I'm saying, like, this is really interesting information. This is a critical weekly close. Then let's see if we keep that. We stay above those levels for the weekly close, and we continue to see this. But there's several things that could be happening. Like Rob said, maybe people are selling off Bitcoin. But they're either rotating into altcoins or they're just holding for dear life. Is that you, Theta Gang? If you're listening to this stream and you're in Theta and you're holding on for dear life, you let me know. Let me know if you guys are the ones causing this, or Cardano, or I don't know, XRP, but somebody out there is holding altcoins or buying altcoins. That is what this chart is saying, more so than Bitcoin, which is very, very surprising because you'd expect it to be the opposite. So will we get an altcoin run? And if we do, Rob often says, you'll be hearing about that from like bigger influencers on X, pretty much well after the move happens. But we're letting you know right now, this could be the very, very beginning of an altcoin run.
Yeah, if I start getting some breakouts and some volume in altcoins, a lot of times if it's a bear market, I'm like, it's probably a fake out. But these charts are sitting there telling me, like, you might not want to sit there and say it's a fake out for a very long time and be like, and let the coin just run, like, oh, wow, I was wrong on that one. And it runs dramatically. Now, what coins are going to run and what coins aren't going to run, Don't know that off of hand because we got to wait for signals and everything like that. There is one that we are bullish in group that we're kind of waiting on for entry. It's the hype token. So we're waiting for that for entry. But there's going to be, if this starts breaking out to the upside and we start getting money to flow into altcoins, it's going to be, I mean, the lower the altcoins are, the smaller money moves are bigger percentage. You know, if that makes sense. I'm trying to see if I'm saying that right.
The lower cap ones are going to run a lot harder.
Yes.
Right?
Or anything that's down lower, the lower it goes, the more percentage gains you're going to get on a run. So that's something to kind of keep in mind too. So even though prices are really low, if you buy something at 1 cent to 2 cents is doubling your money. 2 cents to 3 cents is not doubling your money.
Right. So very interesting times. I mean, so we have he did give you one that we're looking at, hype. Potentially, I'd like to go over maybe a few of the setups that played out from yesterday so you guys can see literally just after yesterday's live what happened in the group and how that played out. I mean, literally like just right after the live it happened. By the way, Ryan, shout out to you for tuning in. We actually do post the links to the lives in the group. I posted it in Telegram. If you are in Discord, I did not post it in Discord, but I will start posting it there as well because I made an announcement today that we're going to start vamping up the Discord again because a lot of people prefer to be on there. So yeah, we did post it in the Hive announcements channel in Telegram. So if you're not in the Hive Telegram, Ryan, you better get in there. The link's in the description below. You can be in both, and then you get access to all the setups and the call outs. So yeah, just welcome to the stream. And yes, Jasmine from yesterday, guys. Wow. This one was, and if you take the course, you'll understand even better what happened here. We do use the Lux Algo Indicator a lot to help, nail the entries as well, which we go over in the course as well. We go over how to use, Rob goes over how to use the Lux Algo to be able to, hone in on your skills a little bit more. But yeah, let's take it from here. Let's see what happened yesterday with Jasmine.
All right, so Jasmine was a pretty straight up. So it was overall, it was a pretty straight up basic setup that we were looking at. And whenever you look at a token, you got to know what trend you're trading in, right? So as we all know, we are in a bear market, and you can sit there and look at this trend. We are going, and it's a little lesson here. We are going to the downside, right? So we are going down. So as you're in a downtrend, you always want to trade with the trend. Now, the one thing is here, whenever I did post this here, we were looking for a breakout. I did get a front run entry on here. I always try to be as truthful as I can. I can get it posted up for the front run entry, but I did turn on Lux Algo for everybody. And let's go ahead and turn that on right now so we can see what it looks like if it wants to work. There it is. So whenever I posted it in group here, I'm going to sit there and go over and how some people nailed their entries on it. So right there was your bearish retest. And you see, oh, it moved over just a little bit. I want to go back into the replay mode now. Let's just go back a little further. As we are now right where we want to be. So right here is where it broke down, right? And your best entry is usually a bearish retest. And whenever you take these entries, sometimes you get these entries, you typically want to keep your stop loss tight because there is a chance. It's called a bearish change of character entry. And that's right where the best entry for that is technically this bearish order block right here. And whenever you go up to a bearish order block, usually what will happen is it will stop people out, or people have stop losses way up here. They have it way up there. Well, what happens sometimes is a liquidity grab that will come all the way up in here and take out liquidity. Sometimes they'll go all the way up so you can even look up a little higher. We have this fair value gap. There's all those areas there where you get a long wick above it here, and you can get a good entry on there as well too. And if you have if you zoom out to your 1 day chart, you can sit there and look for where your 1 day SMA 9's at. It's right here. You could be underneath it, or the 12-hour SMA 9, depending on where you're at. So you're above it right there. So you're sitting there going, all right, I was looking for a bearish retest on the 1 day SMA 9, and we were under it. So it was trading within the trend, all that type of stuff. Now, let's go ahead back in the 1 hour chart. And this is where some people got their entries in. As I said in group, look out, we can get a bearish change of character entry. And when we get a bearish change of character entry, you should know that there might be a chance for a liquidity grab, and you might be able to get the best entry, which is a little bit above it. And then the idea of it is you want a close underneath that this level right here. So what I typically like to do is I like putting a line right on it, so that way I know if above it, it would go close underneath it. Wait where that would be at. So you can see how right there, it just wicked right above it. If you had your stop losses too tight, or if people had their stops right here, they bought the breakdown and shorted the bearish retest, they would have been stopped out right there, and they would have lost money, and then it came all the way back down. That's what typically that's what happens to basically new traders, and they're breakout trading there. So you have to be prepared for basically both entries here. And now we hit basically our first major take profit down here. Now we're looking for more downside, but if things start changing around, we can sit there. We have our stop losses and profit. We took some profits. Now we're just waiting to see kind of what happens here. But that was your basic change of character entry.
Right. Yeah. So that's basically how we were able to nail that entry there, guys. And so that's what I always say here on the channel too, is what's different is we teach you how to get in and out of trades, not just give you the call outs and the signals. Right. And Ryan, I did just want to say, actually, you were actually right. I posted that we were going to go into the live, but I didn't post the link today. So sorry about that. And I am going to try to get these programmed earlier with time so people know and you can plan, because I think it's also great that you guys can jump on and ask questions, maybe about any setups you're having trouble with. Of course, we prioritize members. And yeah, like, so these are really like mini master classes in themselves. So it's really great for all of you who are taking the time to tune in during your day to learn this, because that is invaluable. You're investing in yourself and your skills, and we like to see it. So Jasmine, that's one of the ones we're looking out for. Any setup you want to leave them with today, Rob, or give them for the end of the stream here? I
mean, I'll sit there and say, like, if we get bullish here, oh yeah, we did also have another setup in group that we just hit take profit on. Number one was MON. It's going good right now. I actually left trade because I just wasn't bullish in the markets at the moment, but it's playing out. So we did have that in group as well too. But what is Hype? HYPE.
Yep. Yeah, Hype. So Hype, Hyperliquid, I think that is going to do phenomenal, next run or whatever we may get in altcoins, because it is the only truly decentralized perp DEX. You've got Aster, which is Binance's competitor, but Hype is the tried and true one. And it seems to be getting a lot of market share and a lot of attention. And like Rob said, where, the money flows, attention goes. So here we are with Hype.
Yep. So basically, I've been waiting for it. If we get a bullish change of character buy, I want to see it pull back all the way down to like underneath about $27 to get an entry, or I'm looking for like a breakout of the 1-day SMA 200. Those are kind of my two levels, and we're kind of in between them both. So I'm kind of just waiting for one of the two to basically happen in order to get a good entry, safe entry to where I know how to manage my risk. And so it's a pretty basic, simple setup. And if we start going really well, and once we get one of those entries, so I mean that's a pullback or a breakout entry. TPs are going to be pretty simple forward to me, in my opinion. Is we can either use the bearish order blocks, but we can also put some Fibonacci levels on it, go from high to low, which the 786 Fibonacci's line up with this bearish order block. So I'll probably take some profits there, or take my initial out from there. Let me see what percentage gains that would be. So say we did break out, we did get a good breakout. That's about a 30% move versus 26% move. So I'll take my initials out there, then I'll sit there and see if we can get into some price discovery and get some big moves out of it. So I think it's a pretty simple project. I think there's enough hype on hype in order to get it moving well, especially if we start getting some bounces on Bitcoin, and Bitcoin, the others.d is trying to break out. So I think that one would be a good one to keep an eye on.
Oh, yeah. And then we have a question from Jeannie. And just, Jeannie, shout out to you. I saw you had some nice gains in the group today. So congrats on that. And she's asking if Kernel is still in play, KERN. That was a setup that was posted in the group a little while ago. I mean, if it was posted a few days ago, it feels like weeks ago, right? In crypto. Yeah. But
so one of my rules is whenever you hit TP1, I think I have it written in group, is once you hit TP1, there's a high probability you should move your stop losses to break even almost every single time, especially if you're trading against the trend. And if I put high risk on it, which I believe on the setup, let's look at it. Yeah, I put high risk on it. Those are one of those ones whenever I looked at it the first time, is it even shown on here? I saw this big amount of volume on it. I was actually like a short squeeze for a good fast play for a lot of major gains, and it got up to TP1 and it just lost everything right here. So I'm going to sit there and have to say it lost a 4-hour 9. It lost, let's see, it's 12-hour 9. It's having trouble holding on to it. I mean, if you really want to and just have a stop loss like close to break even, go for it if you got into it. But I wouldn't. If it loses the key level, we're looking at, it didn't recover the wick just yet. We could see if it loses like this level right here, and we have a bearish engulfing candle right here. you're going to have down to a 51% this wick right here I'm looking at pullback. So it just lost all of its volume. So whenever I looked at it, I was just looking for it was more of a short squeeze type of deal, and the volume that was this right here. So this volume, that's what caught my attention, and I was like, all right, let's see if we can get a nice, good, fast play out of it. And it just kind of it just slowly crawled up to TP1, then rolled over. So I'm waiting for more patterns to play out on it.
Okay, so she's saying she took profits already, which good on you. You are doing it right, but haven't closed the trade yet. So hopefully that sheds some light on, the potential scenarios here. You don't want to be stuck in it if it's going to drop like, pretty hard, like Rob was saying, if it loses those levels. So keep an eye on those key levels.
Yeah, because I could sit there. If I would sit there and inverse this, I mean, now that I'm looking at it this way, I could sit there and go like this. Let's go ahead and turn off the indicator here. Let's do some basic TA, and I'll be like, oh, this looks really bullish here. We might be going in the price discovery, and then I would be putting let me find it. I would say rounded bottoms pay the bills.
Yeah, I like that.
So that looks really nice and bullish right there, but this chart's inverted right now. So that's a bearish round. That's around the top.
Like that. Well, unless you're going to short it. You can flip short, Jeannie.
Yeah, so we might be able to short this up. So if we break that trend line there, let's go ahead and look to measure move. So you measure your move from the top of the price down to your neckline right there. Let's put that right there. And let's see where that lines up at. We can take this right here. That's your measure move. Wow, look at that. It covers the rest of that wick. That's kind of amazing.
That is pretty crazy, yeah.
So it might yeah. So whatchamacallit, if it breaks this neckline right here, we're looking at 52% downside.
Oh, yeah, you want to shield yourself from those risks. I'm glad you already took profits, Jeannie. So there you go. That's sort of like the lines in the sand for you to make those decisions. And maybe you want to think about flipping short if we do have this scenario play out. So otherwise, we are just waiting patiently here to see if this others dominance is going to start playing out, and we're not going to be caught off guard or slapped by the market, as Rob likes to call it, because we're already anticipating this, guys. So we're sort of cautiously waiting on that, and we have a lot of setups posted in the group. I know Mon was one of the ones that we were talking about today as well.
What is that?
MON, yep.
Yeah, so we actually had a set up in group for that right now. It actually hit take profit 1. It looks like it's going to keep going here. Let's look at the 1-day chart here. Today, it's going to, if we close up here today, we're going to be closing above the 1-day SMA 9. So I was trying to front run it in group, and I was just more positive on shorts. I made great gains on those. But if we close above the 1-day 9 here, let's go ahead and just take off this chart here. If we close above the 1-day 9 here, we're looking at bullish oscillators on it, and we could look for a retest on it. So I'm going to be waiting for that close, and I'm going to see if we could pull back down to 18 cents for a retest. And if not, the breakout level is going to be about right here. Right, so right now we're getting to the next breakout level, and if we get rejected from right here, which is these candles is what I'm looking at we need to get another close above. If we get rejected from there, we can zoom into the 1-hour chart, which this is also with the 1-hour SMA 200. Is there something off of my charts? Oh, there is. That's why everything was looking weird to me.
Yeah, the wrong level on there.
Yes. Let's go and check on. So we are right against the 1-day SMA 9. Sorry, that was actually on the wrong. I was trying to do some high time frame analysis, and I forgot to change it back. So we are actually bearishly retesting the 1-day SMA 9. So that gives me less confidence now. So we need to close above that there. But this is going to be a bullish engulfing candle if we close right here. So that is a reversal idea right there. And usually when you get a bullish engulfing candle, you usually come back down, you get a fair value gap. And our fair value gap is going to end right here. So I'll be looking for a entry probably down in that area. And by that time, we will be able to potentially be using a small time frame moving average, like let's say the 15-minute chart. We lose the 15-minute SMA 9 right here. We'll be able to set alerts on it. And then once it gets down to this area, we can look for a breakout with the 15-minute SMA 9 while we're on support here and get an entry in and go up further. But I mean, it is looking pretty bullish to me, PA-wise. We just haven't got full confirmation of everything just yet.
That's right. And man, So now you guys got a few setups that we're looking at, freebies here on the YouTube channel just for tuning in, which is phenomenal. And we're really excited to see what the market could potentially start doing. It's crypto. Yeah, Rob and I started the Hive about in November, and we are crushing it in the Hive. It's a joint venture we're doing. We really want to teach people how to trade, help people understand the mechanical rules so they can have a lot more success in the markets and be able to carry those skills with them forever, right? So you're asking if Rob and I still hold spot. Well, I'm a fundamental long-term investor, so I do have a lot of spot bags. Rob is a trader by nature, and just by working with Rob, I've been able to really, really hone in on getting better entries and things. And obviously, I have a whole entire trading portfolio to be able to compound my gains, because that's what this is about. So really, this group is for everybody, whether you want to start investing better, or you actually want to dip your feet, get your feet wet in the trading arena, or you're an advanced trader and you want to level up, guys, you've got to be in that group. So if you like it, smash like, hit the subscribe, guys. It's free. It helps us out a lot, and share this stream. And don't forget to join the group. The link's down below. You'll be sent to our verification group on Telegram, and you can click on the bot there and just do all the things. I just added a tutorial, so it's very, very easy. And we want to see you in there. We want to see you crushing it and winning together. So Ryan says, Ace TA as usual from Rob. I'm just going to highlight this, guys, because this is amazing. Rob learned so much off of you in the Crypto Rev days. Much appreciated. Yeah, so we're revamping the group. We are now the Hive, and we have some members from before who are just getting back in and saying that they're absolutely crushing it with Rob's mentorship. And that's all before we get the course out there. So imagine what you guys are going to do. I just finished the course. I mean, I just finished looking through it and going through it and getting it ready to launch it. And I'm already doing better on my trades because it's just more and more ingrained in my mind. The more you look at the stuff, the more you hear it, the more you tune in, the better you will do. Okay, so cheers to all the real ones. You know who you are, who turn in every single day. At least all the days we can get in here, it's real gold, really. So yeah, shout out to you, Rob.
Oh, thank you. I mean, the more you see it, like usually the more it happens. Like I always try explaining things in a different way, so it kind of clicks into anybody's brain at some point here, and that's the one thing that I like to do. Yeah. Also, Mon, like this was our chart today. We posted it today actually. So yeah, today right here, you see today right here we posted it in group. So if you're not in the group, make sure you get in, because I'm like this looks strong here. It just looks very good here. I just didn't take it myself just because I was so many in shorts, but I was like, it might be one of those ones that do run. And whoa, what just happened?
We got the picture in the picture thing again. I don't know.
Oh, that was me. I hit 3 fingers on my touchpad here. I don't use a mouse. I use a one of those trackpads. I can't use a mouse because I ripped off my fingers in one hand.
Yeah, Rob's got a lot of stories, guys, but he has risen despite it all, which is another fun story that you will hear in the course as well. Just how Rob made his way up in trading, and very inspirational stuff. So I myself am in the period of my life where I'm like ready to be super motivated again, super on fire again. I'm doing double sessions at the gym when I can because my day is just full. So I'm working like, I don't know, 10, 14-hour days in total, but I get those in the middle, right? Like I was saying, Rob has a busy life. I have a busy life. We're still able to trade and to do these trades without babysitting them. And that's amazing. You can adapt it to your lifestyle. And this in the long run will really help set you free, which is powerful.
And then I think, didn't somebody ask if we have spot bags or something?
Yeah.
So we are gonna we do have a spot group, but a lot of it's a bit off by timing here. So we got to make sure that we have time. Like we do have like 10x picks and stuff like that, but a lot of them got stopped out. So I make plans on them with risk management. I try to put the best ones that I can find out there. Like this one here, we did really good on. We were up like 20% on it, and then it got stopped out on it. So I do put risk management plans on spot holds as well too. And then I also try getting as close to the local bottoms as we possibly can get on them. But of course, this one kind of like rolled over here. But once the market picks back up here, I'll be looking back at them again, and they're still 10x picks. They just rolled over yet. I'm not going to sit there and suggest until we get some more strength back into the market. So I'm very particular on that as well too. I don't want to be sitting there. I'm not a person that's going to sit there and hold something 50% down. I'm going to sit there and if I get in at the right time using my basic strategies, I get up in some profits. I put my stop losses in. It gets hit out and rolls over. It goes down another 50%. That just means I could buy 50% lower. That much of a discount for me. So we do have those kind of picks as well too. And once the market's about right again, and we start seeing those some more signals, so we get some more confirmation of the signals we have in there. I will be throwing out some good spot picks if that does hold to be true. But I just need to see. I need to see some breakouts of 1 day in the 1 day time frame.
Right. And that's basically to help protect you from getting too premature of an entry, right? And then your bag goes down by 30, 40, 50%, sometimes even more. So the goal of that is just to wait for that optimal entry for you guys to be able to hold mid to long term, right? If you are more of a spot bag holder. So yeah, so that's just the things we're paying attention to right now. It's in a downtrend. The market's in a downtrend. So we've been crushing it on shorts. But for those of you who are just tuning in right now, we're looking to see if we're going to start to get some altcoin action and maybe an altcoin run here. So that's what we'll be laser focused on in the group. And you don't want to miss any of those updates because these moves are happening pretty fast.
Yep. I mean, they happen quickly. I mean, I'm hoping that we can hit TP2 here soon on Jasmine. We're still at TP take profit one right now, or at take profit one right now. So I'm hoping that this kind of loses this level here soon. We go down lower because Jasmine, where are we at right now? We still have a potential of a 30% pullback from where we're at. So there's still a lot of massive gains. And where I'm measuring, why did I pick that? And that's probably like what people I always sometimes right here. I'm always whenever I make things over here, my eyes, I'm not sure if you can see them or not, are always looking this way at things. So I'm not actually looking over here. I'm actually looking to the left. I'm looking like what's over here? What can I aim for? And I'm aiming for these liquidation wicks that happen in October. And if you're holding bags right now, a lot of your bags are at October lows right now from those liquidation areas. And I think most altcoins are going to at least hit that. A lot of them already did hit it, but some haven't yet. So like we're in SUI short right now. Oh, you see all my words on it as I explain. So I have a lot of explanations because we got in a couple of times, all that type of stuff. So this is one of our shorts we were in as well too. I think we hit take profit one, or I took profit because of Bitcoin. I didn't close trade, but I did take some profits on it. But it's turning red on the 4 hour. We barely retested the 4 hour SMA 9. Awesome. And I even posted on the chart. Remember, we want to see this wick recovered here. And that's what I want to see to get like if I start seeing if I go to every single token and all these wicks are recovering, we're printing bullish price action, and we start getting others and all that other charts breaking out on you, and USDT or the stablecoin dominance breaking down, I'm probably gonna be like, all right, we better try for some longs here and see what happens. And I also have some other Bitcoin charts, which we'll go over another day, that what we can use to help nail some longs, but they're already in group. If you want to see those updated, you got to jump in the group.
Yep. And don't forget, Lux Algo is a big part of these things that make it easy to read, right? Those bearish chart entry that we spoke about earlier, and just different like a fair value gaps and things like that are used by Rob and his strategies to help you like visualize this easier and better. You don't have to do it manually. We teach that in the group. So be on the lookout for that.
Yeah, definitely. Like, so when you put these on here, like, all right, so Bitcoin short, if you want to enter Bitcoin short and it looks like we're not getting the pump like I thought we could have later early on. It looks like we're pulling back again. Awesome. I love seeing pullbacks when I don't have whenever I'm ready to buy the dip at some point, whenever I get the signal. So I want to see dips because I don't have anything right now. So for me, I want to see dips and I want to short it right now. But if we did get, so this was a potential hammer candle. It doesn't look like it's playing out, but here's this fair value gap right here. Even if we did go up a little bit and we did go up right here, right there would have been a short entry idea here to roll over and go back down. And say you have a plan planned out, right? And you want to execute it, but something changes a little bit. You get a little bit volume. It kind of makes you kind of like, all right, this is something that it will automatically show you resistance and supports basically, but they're bearish order blocks and bullish order blocks, and they're printed off of a whole candlestick and wicks. So it gives you a zone, not just one level. Everybody sit there and says, make or break this one line right here. You know what? You got to use a zone. You got to give it a little wiggle room. It's not that black. Like I sit there and say trading's black and white. It either breaks something or it doesn't. But you got to make that area a zone area. Like for me to like say like we are not going to flip bullish on this right here unless we break this zone right here. We need to see this whole zone broken right here. Not just this level, the whole zone. And I do that. That's just an example. Not really on Bitcoin right now. I'm not sure. Let's look at Bitcoin one day real quick. No, I need to see this level broke and this fit bullish at 78,000. So,
right.
But it gives you like a zone area on it, and it makes it real easy, especially if you're going to be executing your trades on your phone like I do. So I execute all my trades on phone. I don't trade. I've never placed an order in the past 2 years on a computer. I've always done it on my phone. So I stay in practice. I'm used to where the buttons are. My muscle memory's there, all that type of stuff, because there's a lot of times where I'll be on the computer. If I'm even on the computer trading, I'm doing all my charting there. I have to go cook dinner for my kids or breakfast for my kids. I have to walk them to the bus stop. I have to run to the grocery store because they drank all the milk. And you know what? I stop in the parking lot. I could look at my phone real quick, like, all right, and see all this stuff on it, the fair value gap that's created. And we use fair value gaps to also help us move stop losses up. And they're going to be in the trading course on how to use fair value gaps and moving averages to maintain your stop loss. So say I'm on my way to the grocery store, and a grocery store for me is a 30-minute drive. So it's an hour drive for me to go get milk. And within that hour, I might have to move my stop losses up. So I have to be prepared for all those scenarios in real life to happen. It's not just sitting here at a computer. And that's the truth for the most people that are trading or want to start trading. You know what? You're going to have to be in those scenarios as well, too, most likely. Or there's something going on scenario like that. Like I said, driving and going and buying a gallon of milk is a 1 hour trip for me, which I like driving because that gets me time.
Yes, Rob is living in the countryside, guys, and he's still able to do it despite internet problems, despite everything. He's still able to execute and win and crush it like he does. So there are no excuses. That's what I'm hearing here. No excuses. Sniper TA88, a lot of people don't see how bad this could get. Actually, we went over just exactly how bad it could get, or good, depending on if you're shorting, right? We talked about the 200-week moving average yesterday around 60K. And, I think the better way to think about it is, a lot of people don't see this coming, which is what my thumbnail is. No one sees this coming because while everybody's sort of talking about and channeling and echoing the same stuff, I actually like to look at different pieces of the puzzle like we did today with Rob and that secret indicator, which is not secret, but people just don't understand how to tell the story or interpret the story like Rob does a lot of times. So I think it's really interesting that what people might not see as well, I would say, Sniper TA, is that maybe we're going to have an altcoin run. I haven't seen that in anywhere on X timelines. And that's why you got to look at the whole picture, right? It might be temporary. It might be a dead cat bounce, but we're trading here. So that's what we're focused on at the moment.
Yep. So yeah, we gotta sit there and just wait till those others charts and see. I want to see something manifest. So I am definitely keeping my head on a swivel right now, having stops in place. I mean, we have that others.d pumping like that there. When I just opened that up there, I was just like, what? Why is this so green? This is strange. That right there just tells you to pay attention. Like nobody's talking about this giant green candle. This is a giant weekly green candle right now. No, like let's go to today. Like we're breaking the 1-day SMA 200 on others.d.
Wow. That's looking
Why?
strong.
This should be dumping right now. Like in my mind, this should be dumping right now, but it's not. So, like, is it a signal for a giant short squeeze? I don't know. It could be going into a short squeeze for all I know. And I'm not going to give back all my profits on shorts. So no.
Right, which is why we're staying vigilant and we're watching things that nobody else is watching. We're coming on to you once per day, if that, on YouTube whenever we can, but we're updating around the clock in the group. Actually, I think it was Jeannie or somebody said, Rob never sleeps. Yeah, it really feels like it. Rob is always in there plugging away and working really hard to bring the best setups, guys, and we're posting news. I'm posting some very interesting data and alpha, and guys, like just, you've got to tune in. That's it. That's all I can say. Get into the group. It's simple, and you get $100 bonus just for any deposit. Because we still have that deal going with the exchange. We ask them for more time, and they're happy to support us because they want as many people to benefit as possible. So on that note, I think this is an excellent place for us to leave off this fine Wednesday. And if you tuned into the entire show, congrats to you. I mean, you get a golden star, and you're learning more than most people know in the market in just these weeks that you've been tuning in. I'm sure of it. So just stay strong. Don't ever give up. If you're having a tough time out there, you can make it back, and just ask questions in the group and just learn and get back on the horse. That's all I have to say. Rob, any last words before we tune out today?
Yeah. Right click, sell, short the market, your portfolio goes up. Right click, buy, your portfolio goes up. So when you learn to trade both ways, your portfolio is always going up. Your portfolio is in the green, and you're happy no matter what. I like that way.
That's right. That's right. You got to learn how to trade the market both ways, and we will try to help you feel as comfortable in doing so as possible. So thank you guys so much for tuning in, all your support. Much appreciated. And we'll be back for more. Hopefully tomorrow I will update you in the group, and I'll be sure to add the link, Brian, and I'll do it in time so you guys can plan, and do come with your questions and your requests, and members will be prioritized. So that's it. Have a wonderful Wednesday, guys, and we will see you hopefully tomorrow.